What's up, Nova Heads? It's Amber Nova.
This is Chris Lights Out Lytle.
Hi, this is Ray Boom Boom Mancini. Ice Boogie.
It's the real and raw August Artois.
This is Smiling Sam Alvey.
It's Archimedes.
I'm Jack Cartwheel, the real deal, the human highlight reel.
This is Steve Murray.
I'm Victor Henry.
It's ECW Original, The Enforcer, CW Anderson.
This is Honest John.
Luis Moreno.
It's Mr. Classic.
I'm Jason Punet.
The young ghost.
It's old Howdy Price here.
When I say what's my name, Snipes.
Richie Slade.
My name is Gino Rivera, the Frank Sinatra of the Spanish Mafia.
The incredible one, Anthony Idol.
This is Ken Shamrock.
The Golden Boy, Jordan Clearwater.
Yo, watch and listen.
Championship online.
This is Alex Mars here. Hi, Richard Modest.
So, please listen to it, otherwise be cursed. Okay, see you later, love that dinners.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. You're now watching and listening to Championship on the Line podcast. I'm Alex with my co-host Rich, and today we have a very, very special episode here today. We don't have one, but we have two guests here. We have the team of Simon Lotto and Steven Andrews, as seen at AEW Dark and on BTE. You can check them out. They're great, and I cannot wait to see them, especially this Sunday when they will be at the Will House in Hemet, California, taking on Olgard in a double chain match. Ladies and gentlemen, we have High Risk, ladies and gentlemen.
Hey, what's up, everybody?
Oh, man, we're so excited to have you guys here. Once again, thank you so much for taking the time to do this podcast. We really appreciate it.
Thank you guys for having us.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, of course. And before we get started, we like to do a segment before we start the show. We ask 10 fun questions to get to know your personal side. Is that cool to do with you?
Yeah, no worries. Absolutely.
All right, cool. Rich, take it up.
Awesome. We'll start right away. First question, favorite movie of all time?
Ooh, that's a good one. Good to
go
start
first?
off. You can go ahead.
And you
All
can name more than one if you want. If you want.
Okay.
Okay.
Favorite movie of all time of mine has got to be Robin Hood Men in Tights. I laugh so hard when I watch that movie every time. So that was my favorite.
Me personally, I'm a horror buff. I love the horror genre, so I would have to go with the original Michael Myers, John Carpenter.
Nice.
So gotta stick with the classics. You know what I mean?
Nice. Great
Awesome.
movies.
Both awesome picks. Next one, favorite TV show of all time?
Ooh.
Favorite TV show. Okay. All right. Just right off the top of my head, I'd have to say either The Flash or Arrow. Those series were just super awesome to me.
Oh, so new school.
Yeah. New school, yeah.
Me, I'm gonna go a little bit more classic. That Saturday morning cartoon kind of thing.
There you go.
I actually have them tattooed on me. I would have to go Ninja Turtles.
Nice.
Nice.
Ninja Turtles growing up was a childhood. You know, they were my heroes growing up. I actually wanted to even be one at one point. That's how much I loved them.
Awesome. Same here. We love the Power Rangers. We're a big fan of.
Yeah, we were big fans of that growing up.
Yep, that's our generation.
Awesome.
Nice.
Favorite music or artist or band?
Ooh, you got this, bro. Go for it.
I would say favorite band. I would have to go with Bullet for My Valentine. Big Bullet for My Valentine fan. I've actually caught them live about a handful of times already. It's one of my favorite bands. My friend Jason got me hooked on them, and then ever since then, I'm addicted to them.
And I'd have to say, like, for a genre, it would have to be any type of classic rock and roll. I grew up in that era. My dad got me into it. Love it very much. But I'd have to pick one band. It'd have to be Eagles. They just rock and roll all day.
Yeah. I love it. Favorite sports team?
Ooh. See,
Okay,
this
well,
is
yeah.
this is where we're team high risk kind of
Yeah,
butts
right.
heads a little bit.
One genre.
Because as far as sports teams, when you go into baseball,
There we go.
there's the freeway series between me and my best friend here. So you have Angels and Dodgers, which I'm a Dodgers fan. I bleed blue. And
Angels.
He's an Angels fan.
Yep.
And then when it comes to football, I mean, we're still on different turfs right there too. Like I'm a Cowboys fan at that point.
100% Steelers.
100% Steelers.
Oh wow!
No.
Completely different sides of the field on every single sport. I don't think there's one sport where we actually see eye to eye on the team.
Very true.
That is crazy. Yeah, we won't try to be biased. Alex and myself are big Dodger fans also, so we'll try to keep it as fair as it can be.
Respect. You guys just got brownie points with me. You guys got brownie points.
You know what? The coolest thing is when they do face each other, going to those games live is just a huge, just exciting experience.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Nothing like it. Next, favorite meal.
Ooh. Go ahead.
Yeah, all right, favorite meal. I'll go fancy. I'll go steak and potatoes. That's really good.
Little steak and potatoes, huh?
I know what he's gonna pick right now.
It's right back to Ninja Turtles.
Yeah.
I have to go with pizza. I'm addicted to pizza.
All day.
Horrible as it is on a diet, but when I get my cheat days, best believe I'm going to your local pizza spot. So.
And we've tried almost all of them.
Do you have like a favorite type of pizza, like pepperoni, classic?
If I had to go like with the certain like most common companies, I would go with Pizza Hut over like Little Caesars and Domino's, stuff like that. I would go with Pizza Hut for sure. But as far as the local spot up here, there's this place called Nick's Pizzas. It's in Apple Valley, which definitely I would highly recommend it if you're a pizza lover. And it's phenomenal. The cheesy breadsticks, the pizza, it's good. It's really good.
Nice. Next, favorite video game.
Oh, my boy got this one.
I'm a big time gamer. I'm actually a big time huge gamer. I got really big into Apex Legends. Started really playing that game. I got really big into Fortnite. Started playing Fortnite for a bit. Kind of like I kind of mix it around. I'll play fighting games. I'll play shooter games. I'll play racing games. Like I'm kind of everywhere with it.
And for me, I'm not too big into the world, but I'm into the classics like the Super Nintendo and stuff like that. But as of like PlayStation and everything, it's gotta be two of my favorite games: Crash Bandicoot and Spiral. Those are like my two ultimate favorites.
Nice. Those are our favorites too. I love those games. Outside of wrestling, is there a hobby you like to do?
Ooh, outside of wrestling, big gym fanatic. But besides that, I used to skateboard back in high school, and it's kind of hard for me not to put the board away and kind of not, ride the skateboard every now and again at the local skate park. But yeah, skateboarding would be big for me for sure.
Yeah, and back in the day, we had our own little team, and I was the rollerblader on the team. So rollerblading was pretty cool. I kind of fell off a bit, but outside of another hobby, I would say probably just play some football with the guys. You know what I mean?
Nice. I miss rollerblading. I feel like it's kind of like past, and
It's a lost sport because that was like before I actually even moved up and got associated with all my friends that up here in the high desert. Like rollerblading was big to me back down in LA, down in that area. Like a lot of people were actually doing that over skateboarding, and then up here it completely changed my world because everybody was skateboarding and nobody was rollerblading anymore. So it's like, okay, well, do I make the transition to 4 wheels from 8 wheels? Like, what do I do here?
Oh man, needs to come back. Do you have a ritual you like to do before you enter the ring?
Tradition before we go out to the ring?
We're big time Christians. We're big time believers in there. So what we like to do is we like to say a prayer, just to make sure our opponents, whether we like them or not, we make sure they're safe. We make sure we're safe, and we make sure everybody actually on the card and everybody going home. Like it's just a prayer over tradition, like that we always do, to just kind of pray over our friends, over our foes, over everybody that's there, like safe travels and everything. Everybody being safe in the ring.
Absolutely, every time.
So we love it. Alex and I can share that too, because we used to compete in martial arts, and we always do the same thing. We want them to be safe I don't care the outcome of it. We just want everyone to have
exactly.
fun
Yeah.
and be
Winner,
safe.
win or loss, we just want to be safe and everybody go home safe and happy.
Yeah.
Exactly. Nice. What are your favorite wrestlers like of all time? Like your top guys?
Top guys. All right.
Yeah.
I got two. They're my ultimate favorites. Speaking of ultimate, one of them is definitely the Ultimate Warrior. I got to meet him when I was little. He walked by me. He gave me one of his arm tassels, and I was just extremely hooked. Another guy that I have not had the pleasure to meet yet is Rey Mysterio. That's why I have on my forearm a tattoo of both of them. And they're just huge inspirations to me and my high flying style.
Me favorite wrestlers. If I had to go classics, I would go. As badly as he's getting hated on here and there by our boys in AEW, I would have to go with Triple H, because Triple H to me growing up, like the cerebral assassin, you know what I mean? Like when it came to him, it was time to play the game for me in a sense. So, but if I had to go to now, believe it or not, in our time in AEW, there was a guy that stood out to me that I just ended up meeting, was Fuego del Sol, who just recently got signed with AEW. And there was an altercation that happened over there, and I remember just being being around all the guys, all the extras, and Fuego being one of them at the time, even though he's been there quite a bit, and he just lit a fire under everybody's ass. Like he got to the bottom line. He wanted to, to let everybody know that this is what he loves to do. This is his sport. Like he's not going to let anybody ruin this for me. Whether you want to do this big hiatus or whatever you want to, whatever you were trying to get out of the situation that happened. Whatever outcome happened, like he was trying to let you guys know, like, I'm not going to let you guys ruin my opportunity. And so with that being said, like, to me, it's guys like that. It's guys like Marco Stunt that we, talked in the airport, got to shoot around in the airport. Like, it's guys like that it shows humbleness, even though they have their big uprising in AEW. They're well-known names now. And to look at us that are trying to make our star, our upcoming, and to look at us like we're equals is a great feeling. It's a great feeling.
Oh, that's awesome to hear. Alex and I follow, them both, and it's awesome to see that never die attitude. They keep on going for their dreams, and they're humble, and they stay grounded, and they keep on going, ahead and sharing, their knowledge, like to you guys and others. It's awesome to hear. And then with your pick with Triple H and Rey Mysterio, Alex and I are like big ruthless aggression guys. So we love them both. And I love that you have a tattoo, because I'm like debating if I get a Rey Mysterio tattoo, because I don't know how many times as a kid I dressed up as him on Halloween, probably like 4 years in a row. So I have to.
Growing up too, before like the whole like Ninja Turtle and Power Ranger era, like at Halloween, I was always a ninja. It didn't matter what color it was.
Same here.
It could be a different little details in the outfit. I was that ninja. Like I was addicted to that, to the martial arts aspect and everything like that.
We're the same. I think my mom had to change and force me, like, you can't be a ninja anymore. You can't be your Mysterio. It has to change. Awesome. Last one. If you could have a match that isn't a wrestler, it could be a celebrity, athlete, fictional character, anybody. Who would it be with?
A match.
Should we call it a tag team match, or are we calling two single matches right now?
Tag team. You can tag team.
Let's call it a tag team match. Okay? If you had to put your celebrity with my celebrity, who are we teaming up to where obviously we can high risk, high reward, get the 1, 2, 3, and glory all over TNT.
I got the perfect one. Former WCW World Heavyweight Champion David Arquette. I would say that's my pick.
That's a good pick. To me, I would.
Who's his tag team partner?
what would just blow everybody's mind right now? I would have to go, as far as a celebrity, I would probably have to go with Little Dicky. I would probably call Little Dicky.
That would be a
because
huge team.
Don't get me wrong, I'm a big Little Dicky fan as far as his music and everything like that. But to me, it's like I just feel like that has headlights, that has everything written in a star-studded match. Like, that would be headlines galore in that kind of a match.
That's great. That's our first ever. But we never got a Little Dicky. We've got a David Arquette, but never a Little Dicky.
Right?
That's crazy. That's awesome. Well, man. But once again, guys, really appreciate you again taking the time to do this podcast. It really means a lot to us. And of course, I want to go back, to the beginning, so take us back. What got you into wrestling? and what made you decide to be a professional wrestler?
Yeah. Okay. Well, for my story, it'd have to be my cousins always going down to my aunt's house for holidays or weekends or for the summer. And both my cousins were super into wrestling. So they were watching it one afternoon, sat us in front of the TV, and they were like, hey, you guys should really check this out. We're like, okay. So we started watching it. It was a classic match between, it was a WCW, Jericho, the two freaking the cruiserweight division. It was super huge, right? So really got into it as soon as I started watching it. And once I found out that there's this whole different world and it was professional wrestling, I was like, okay, I started following it, really wanted to get into it. About probably sometime in high school, where I was a super fan of it, watching it all the time, knowing the storylines, knowing the wrestlers, their moves, and, you know, doing the stuff obviously in the backyard is where a lot of our wrestlers got our start and everything. So one day I was working at my job that I had through my school. The security guard came up to me and we were talking wrestling because he was a wrestling fan. And he was like, hey, there's a wrestling show local up here. And I was like, no way, where's the show at? So he brought a flyer the next night, saw it. I was like, we got to find it, dude. Brought it to Simon. We checked it out on the internet, knowing that they've been here for a couple of years. And the company was called High Risk Wrestling. So that weekend we were like, okay, we got to go to this show, dude. We'll bring all of our friends. We got to do what we have to do. We ended up walking to the show because it was so local to us. We were like, okay, we're after school, whatever. It was on a Thursday. We got to go. We made it there. As soon as we saw the first match, everybody making their entrance, we were like, this is local. We got to find out where these guys are located. Watched the entire show, got to talk to them, got to talk to the promoter, talk to the boys, the Young Bucks. It was their promotion. So once we got to know them and talk to them a little bit, they were like, yeah, come by our house. We have our trainings every Saturday. You know, we're located here. And we're like, what? You guys are right down the street from us. How long have you guys lived here? They're like, well, we lived here for like maybe 2 years or so. And I was like, this is our first time knowing about this. So anyway, fast forward, we did our first training. As soon as we got in that ring, we were totally hooked. Instantly, we were like, this is what we need to do. And it's here locally. And we've been doing it ever since, like 10, 12 years, something like that now. So
pretty much to blend both our stories, our origins kind of together, is we started together. When it came to actually starting together, we were, you know, big fanatics. Yeah, we had our different uprising, but, you know, friends kind of introducing us into wrestling. But as far as actually stepping foot into the ring, it was something we did together. It was something we did, you know, since day one, stepping into the ring with the Young Bucks, you know, with, you know, Brandon Cutler, with, you know, Dustin Cutler, with Scorpio Sky, Mark, like a lot, like names galore that, you know, before they got their big uprising, we were in the ring with these guys, training and doing what we do best. And to kind of fast forward it, it was one of those things. Once we stepped foot into that ring professionally, we knew for a fact the backyard wasn't the scene anymore. We knew for a fact, like, our friends and family, like, they loved doing what we do, jumping off the roofs, whatever we had to do to kind of get the crowd pop. But it's like, this professionally is okay. It's not just watching it on TV. It's now I get to live as a hero, as a superhero, like I've always wanted to see and do, and blah, blah, blah. So it's kind of living our dream in a sense.
That's awesome. It's crazy too. And then like before going into training, like how long have you guys known each other? Like how long you guys have been friends for?
We've actually known each other since about 2002, I believe.
Yes.
Is when we actually met. So we've been friends for quite a while, and then actually first stepping foot in the ring, we stepped foot in the ring I think about 2006.
Yes, 6.
So 2005 or 6 is when we first stepped foot in a professional ring. So yeah, we've been doing it ever since, and we've been friends even longer.
Right.
That's awesome. That's cool. And then like take me back. What was it like going like the first day of training? Like what drills did you guys do? Like what was that whole experience like for you going first day?
Bumps, rolls, running the ropes, like, oh my gosh, like the amount of pain that our body went through that first day of training was insane. And the fact that we were able to get up the very next morning and be like, dude, I cannot wait to go back.
Right.
Like it's like going to the gym and soaring yourself out of the gym, and you kind of regret, like, okay, should I go the next day? Should I go the next day? And you're like, maybe I won't, maybe I won't. But when it came to professional wrestling, we ate it up. When it came to the pain would cease to exist because we knew what we wanted to do, and this is the line of business we want to do. So it came natural to us.
No matter how many bumps or bruises we got on that first day, we were, like you said, we were super excited for that next Saturday to come along. We were counting down the days, the hours, and once that Saturday came, right to training. We were like the first ones there.
That's cool. Yeah, I kind of relate to that because I used to, like, I was an amateur boxer, so I used to box, and like when I would go to school, like the first day, it was tiring, running drills, getting punched. But I was like, I can't wait to go tomorrow. Like, I can't wait to go to practice. Same with Rich too.
Yeah.
And so like you do training when, like, what was it like for your first match to come out of the curtains? What was that whole feeling like for you, like to come out for the first time?
Well, I had this whole storyline set up with Matt Jackson, where I was a sound guy. I took care of everybody's music. I got it every single show. And Matt came up with a storyline. He wrote me on MySpace back in the day. He wrote me a message and he was like, "Hey, Steve, I got this idea. I'm looking for a new manager. You've seen the shows and you've seen the storyline. So I had this great idea. I want to pass it on to you. Would you like to be my new BFF? That's what I'm looking for. A best friend forever kind of thing." And I was like, all right, I am super excited. I was like, when is this going to happen? He was like, well, at the next show, we're going to make an announcement. I'm going to come out to the ring, ask for a new BFF, look around the crowd, and I'm going to point right at you up in the booth. So basically, you're going to pass on your job, come down to the ring, and the stipulation is you have to have a match with me. I was like, no way, this is happening. I'm having my first match. So I get down to the ring, huge smile on my face. I can't, not selling. I'm super excited. Matt throws a promo, and he was like, okay, there's one stipulation, though. You have to have a match with me right now. He grabs me by the neck, throws me in the ring, and we just started hitting moves. He beats me up. He takes over. I hit a couple of surprise moves out of nowhere. I almost beat him, but of course, he cheats, gets the victory, low blows me, and he was like, you know what? Steve, you did a great job. I'm going to give you the opportunity. You're going to be my BFF. Throws me over his shoulder, and boom. Right there, I knew in my heart, my soul, this is what I wanted to do every single night if I had to.
Amazing story. But yeah, this was the feeling before you went to the ring. Amazing first story. Yeah. Amazing story. But the question they asked was the feeling that you got before you went to the ring.
Super nervous, super excited, jittery. I was just like, this is happening. And one of the wrestlers backstage was like, hey, Steve. He peeks out of the curtain, just smiles at me. That's why I had the hugest smile on my face, because I was like, this is it. It's happening.
Yeah, to me, I would say the same thing. We did so much time in training, so many hours, putting in the ring, putting in the work, and to finally be told by the Young Bucks that we were, ready to actually make that next step, that transition into wrestling, whether it be, transitioning from a referee, transitioning from the sound guy, security, it didn't matter. We were actually ready to lace up boots at this point. And to me, it was the same thing. It was, you had the butterflies, you had the nerves, you had everything going like that, but it was, I know what I want to do. I knew what I was set foot on this earth to do, and it was professional wrestling. So when it came to those nerves, like once the music hit or once it came time to doing what you needed to do, nerves went away. Nerves completely went away, and it was just focus. I was completely 100% focused on what I wanted to do.
That's awesome. That's so cool. And then talking about like in training, like was there any advice that they've given you like that still keeps with you today about, the business? Was there any advice that they've given you?
One of the big things that I've always been told by Matt and Nick was always just to stand out. Always just stand out. Try not to do what the other guy's doing. Pretty much if you're seeing it done a lot, try to do something else. There's so much advice, but I think that's mainly what stuck so much is kind of just be different from everybody else, because you're going to see a lot of the same old, but when it comes to seeing us, you're always surprised. You never know what's going to happen coming from us. You never know where we're going to be. You never know what's going to be said out of our mouths. So like for us to keep people guessing still to this day is a blessing, because most people have gone that common way, have gone that common route to where it's like, oh, I know what they're going to do. I know what they're going to do. You have no idea where we're going to be. You have no idea if we're going to go back to AEW. You have no idea if we're going to go to ROH. You have no idea if we're going to end up in NXT in 2 weeks. Oh, wait, sorry about that. But you have no idea what can happen. And it's just one of those things. That's the beauty behind professional wrestling, and especially with our brand, is you just don't know what to expect. And most companies should look, and you're taking a pretty big risk into booking these guys, but it's pretty well worth it.
And you know what? Just to branch off of that just a little bit, another big, huge advice from all the guys that we got was stay humble. Stay humble. Keep your heart open. Keep your mind open. And always, never forget what you guys came from. You know what I mean? Where you got your start. If you get to the show early, help them out. Help with the ring, the chairs, whatever. And we've never forgot that. Every time we show up, we say hi to everybody. No matter who you are, we'll shake your hand, say hi, tell them who we are.
Well, trust me, we can look like the biggest jerks, while the camera's rolling, but behind the scenes, we're one of those diehard fans that are just willing to help out the company any way, which way we can. And we know about paying dues. That's one of the things Matt and Nick also taught us, was about paying dues. And even to this day, even having the superstardom that we've actually had and the success that we've actually had as a group, like we still go back to day one to setting up chairs, helping the new guys out with their matches, whatever we got to do, like hearing people out. It's just what we do. It's what we've grown in this business doing.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, absolutely.
I mean, I totally agree. I mean, like awesome advice, being humble. It shows. We've met with you guys, multiple times at the show, and nothing but humbleness from you guys. You guys have been awesome to us, and we appreciate it. And also you saying, being different. And it shows, because we've seen you, versus the old guard in multiple matches. Every single match is different. It's not the same. And it's with the same opponent, but it's completely different. And every time Alex and I are like, we can't wait for this Sunday, honestly. Because Alex and I are just like, wow, it's going to be different. The last match, you guys are beating the heck out of each other outside the ring. You guys won the first match. The second match was back and forth. Like, it's just amazing. And it shows really what you guys do in the ring.
Thank you.
And also, even seeing you guys, and it's true, you guys, as soon as you come, you say hi to everyone. You guys even set up the ring too, which is pretty cool to see. Because let's be honest, there's times where other wrestlers, they've maybe tasted a little bit of that spotlight and they have a big ego right away.
Yeah, and it sucks because some of those guys are like some of your best friends, and you don't want them to rub so many people the wrong way, but sometimes it just ego does take a hold of them, because you're still playing a character, you're still playing this, you're playing that, but at the end of the day, how were you brought up? How did your mom and dad raise you technically? You know what I mean? Like, to me, I was always brought up in a well brought out home to respect your elders, to respect your fellow man. To get respect, you got to show respect. So that's one thing I've always learned.
Cool. That's awesome. And also take me back to the time where you guys had your first match as a tag team. What was that whole experience like, teaming for the first time?
The first time we tagged, it was actually in a promotion called IWL, Insane Wrestling League. It was ran by Vic Luna, and I think it was in Chino Hills, and we were two single wrestlers at the point in time, kind of just doing our own thing, kind of filling our own group, kind of going our own little way. And it was around the time where Matt and Nick Jackson were doing tours in Japan and doing Impact and doing all their little stuff. And Matt ends up getting injured. It's where Matt broke his hand. And right after that happened, Nick was kind of doing a little bit of a solo run in IWL. So what happened was, there was supposed to be some sort of storyline to where Nick wanted to do a stable with us three, because he knew we were his trainees and he was our trainer. So he kind of wanted to do a little trios kind of a gimmick until Matt got well again, which obviously teaming with Matt or Nick Jackson, obviously we were up for it. So we were of course up for that, but it ended up falling short. Matt got better, which was amazing, but Matt got better. And Nick was like, you know what? You guys should continue doing what you guys do, team together, and just keep the name of our old company, which was High Risk Wrestling. And when it came to that, was like, okay, well, we looked at, obviously we're best friends. So we just looked at each other. It's like, okay, are we done with the single act? Like, are we doing this right now? And it came one of those times. It's like, all right, well, let's just put two and two together. You have, the technicality of my wrestling. You have a high flyer, and let's just bond them together. And ever since then, it's been high risk over everything.
That's right.
That's so cool. And then even like starting like training, was that the goal for you guys? Like eventually we are going to be a team, or was it just
Honestly, I don't think it was.
Yeah, not in the very beginning.
Yeah.
But eventually, we get that opportunity to tag, and we had that connection of best friends. We were got the advice from the Young Bucks, and we took that advice and we just ran with it.
It was like the thing that was crazy because like, yeah, we were good single wrestlers, but when you put us in the ring together as a tag team, like the chemistry's there. It's almost like you are seeing a new generation of Matt and Nick, or a new generation of Motor City Machine Guns, or all these kind of new era teams are these teams that have kind of set the milestone for us. And it's like what you see with us, and like you have the high flying, you have the technicality, but when it comes to putting us together, it's almost like you're mind blowing because you're like, okay, where are they going to go next? They're everywhere in that ring, and it's almost hard to keep hold of us.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. That's so cool. And then even like talking, like even like teaming up, at the beginning of your tag team, was there any like videos of like specific tag teams that you would watch to get like inspiration for your ring style as a team?
Honestly, it's kind of crazy because we did a show like 2 weeks ago for Inoki Dojo, and for a guy named Mecha Wolf, he came up to me, and we haven't been compared to too many tag teams, but he came up to us and he was like, hey, I like a lot of your guys' stuff. He's like, you guys are like a Motor City Machine Gun type of style, right? And to be compared to a team that is our style, that like, we don't have to say it out there, but you can kind of piece that together. It's like, okay, these guys are two minds, but they work as one. And that's what you always saw with Chris Sabin and Alex Shelley. It was two minds, but every time they were in the ring together, it was two minds working as one. So to be told that from a guy I actually looked and idolized, as far as Mecha Wolf, like to be told that from Batista 666, like to be told that from big guys that are, have already established their names, and to see us for the first time and to have that resemblance or that likeness to us, it was like, wow, like, yeah, that is our style. Those are, as far as tag teams, it was Motor City Machine Guns. Obviously, we were big Young Buck fans because we grew up with these guys. Yep. Like we would go to these guys' shows before they did their tours in Japan, before they went to, ROH and TNA and all that stuff like that. We were those fanboys that were watching our trainers steal the show every single night until we got our shot, and we were doing the same thing.
We were right there with them.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, I mean, I even remember too, because like Rich and I, we used to see like the Young Bucks start like in EWF in Covina, and I remember watching, like we were little kids, and this is way before they kind of made it, and just watching them, and so cool to see from like that time, and now even their figures right here, so it's crazy.
That's what we talk about to this day. Like that's where the humbleness comes from. That's where we've been taught from. Like the fact that yeah, they're superstars. They're VPs. They're doing their thing over there in AEW. But it's like I can legit call Nick right now if I wanted to. We can legit call Matt, and they would pick up at the drop of a dime just to say what's up, just to small talk, ask how we're doing, how's everything going. Like
yep.
Like the humbleness, just it's true, and that's what we want to show with everybody else when it comes to professional wrestling. Like, yeah, you can have your ego, you can have your big superstardom, but it comes at the end of the day, like how humble are you? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And even like Rich and I, we had the privilege to even like film you guys, even do a promo at West Coast, and honestly it was so entertaining seeing you guys, because you guys did, like, I remember like we do other wrestlers and sometimes it takes time for them to do a promo if they have to think, but you guys just did it like quick.
Yeah.
Honestly, when it comes to the promos, it's just it's one of those things where it's like just go with it. Feel what comes from your heart, you know what I mean? Because yeah, you're a gimmick, you're a show, you're this, you're that, but it's like at the end of the day, like if your heart's really in it, it shouldn't have to take too much time, because you know your key points, you know what you want to say, you know what you want to get across, you know what your character is going to do, if he's a bad guy, if he's a good guy, whatever it is, like, so when it comes to prepping, like, yeah, there'll be a prep here and there, but I love on the fly. I love when a camera's in my face and I could just be me. I could be Simon Lotto.
Yep. Because it all becomes real at that moment.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Because I remember even like saying, you guys even mentioned like Betty White in like in your promo too, which was like so cool.
Yeah, yeah. It's one of those things where it's, yeah, we have our respect for our vets. Don't get us wrong, but it's these two guys. These guys have rubbed us wrong since day one in the West Coast. They rubbed us the wrong way since day one, and for you to rub high risk the wrong way, I mean, I'm sorry, you're just looking for danger. You're looking for a worst case scenario at that point. So for you guys to offer your hand out and for being mad that we didn't shake it, hell no, we didn't want to shake it. Where was the level of respect during the match? You know what I mean? So you want to extend your hand, okay, and then you want to play this little crybaby gimmick to where it's we have a lack of respect. We've grown into this business about respect that we know nothing of. We only know about respect, but when it comes to those two guys, we don't respect them. We've never have, and we probably never will.
Mm-hmm. And how are you guys feeling too going to this Sunday and it's double chain match? Like, how are you guys how confident are you guys feeling going into this?
It was one of those things where we're not too into the hardcore scene. We don't do too much of those hardcore kind of matches. But when you back a lion into a corner, you don't know what really to expect. So they backed us into a corner. They think that they're gonna put these chains on us and we have nowhere to run. But guess what, guys? We don't want to run anywhere. What you did to my brother last show was beyond forgivable. The fact that I watched my brother lay in a pool of his own blood, bleeding from the mouth, was unforgivable. So yeah, put the chains on us because it's going to take more than referees, than everybody in the back to separate us from destroying these two guys once and for all.
Didn't say anybody.
Oof, man, I get goosebumps just listening to this. I cannot wait again this Sunday. But again, I want to switch topics real quick. But I remember also, I'm a big BTE fan, so I watched every episode. And I remember this had to be before the same time of COVID going on. But I remember watching, they were doing matches at their house in tennis court. And I remember seeing you guys facing the Young Bucks. Talk about that whole experience. What's that whole doing a match again with the Young Bucks, but also doing it in their house? What was that whole experience like?
At the compound, it was
the compound.
It just felt like home.
The cool thing about it too is it was around the pandemic.
Yeah.
It was around the era of the pandemic, so wrestling really died.
Yeah, right? We were nervous.
Yeah, so wrestling really died out, and when it came a lot of the guys, especially our friends, they didn't know where their next paycheck was coming from. So with that being said, it luckily for us, we have jobs outside of professional wrestling, but besides that, when it came to getting the call for BTE, it was a blessing. It was we gotta work with our guys that we train with, and lo and behold, the pandemic was a big disaster, but a little bit of a rosebud kind of came out of there because it put us on the map. It got us everything kind of situated with AEW, got us everything situated with tag team after tag team after tag team title match that we've been having now, because now companies are looking at us like we're serious threats, like we're not these, or who is Simon Lotto, who's Steven Andrews? You know who the hell we are because you guys stay tuned to BT, you guys stay tuned to AEW. You can talk all the trash you want on all the social medias, but when it comes to the end of the day, you're still watching us. So when you're still watching AEW, you're still watching BT. So it put us on the map, and it was a blessing. So of course, thank you, Nick Jackson. Thank you, Matt Jackson. Of course, thank the whole Jackson family, because that should have been the whole pandemic should have been a downfall for High Risk, being out for the whole year of that wrestling really was with no shows, and it actually put us on the map.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, and I remember even watching that, and then even watching you guys even had a match with SCU too in the compound. What was it also like working with Christopher Daniels and Kazarian?
That was a lot of fun. That was first time facing them. SCU, the what was the tag team name in ROH?
The Addiction, right?
The Addiction, yes. Yeah. So much fun facing those guys. Very humble.
They're legends.
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
the thing too, because we look at Matt and Nick as current legends in their own right kind of wrestlers. These guys have been around the block and then some. So I remember, first watching TNA for the first time and watching matches with Daniels and AJ Styles and Samoa Joe and all these kind of matches, to now being in the ring with, Kazarian and Daniels now.
Yep.
So and there goes the humbleness yet again, because they're genuine guys. They know their humble start, and they treated us with respect right from the moment we saw them. And to step into the ring with two legends, it was a great feeling. It was a great feeling. It felt like it was long overdue in a sense. It felt like we should be doing this more freaking often.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, I remember even watching those two matches. I was just like, oh my gosh, like high risk. Like who are these guys? Like these guys are awesome, because they even described you like in the beginning, like you guys were like jobbers, and then it was like easy match, but then it was like just awesome with VSCU and then the Young Bucks. But now even guys were also in AEW Dark. You guys faced Dark Order. What was that experience like doing AEW Dark?
Honestly, from the flight to even landing to in the hotel to finding out, the match we were gonna do, nerves galore. It was nerves galore, because we were now at a place where we want to be. And, we wanted it since day one, since we saw the opportunity with everything that was going on with Dark and the extra talent. We wanted to step foot, and it's like we were trained by the guys that are kind of help running this promotion. So it's kind of like, hey guys, like, about us. Let's let the world know about us now.
Yeah. And everybody backstage was extremely humble. When we showed up, it felt like we were supposed to be here. We were meant to be here. You know what I mean?
The cool thing about AEW, because we've never been to, that other company and anything like that. We've never been there, but from what I've heard, there's a lot of, watch what you kind of step on kind of a thing. You're walking on, on eggshells at the point.
Mm-hmm.
So with AEW, we thought it might be the same. We didn't know. So when we first stepped foot, it was like stepping foot in an indie show with all your best friends. Yep. Because we knew every single wrestler in there, and then even wrestlers that we were just introducing ourselves to,
they knew us.
Already knew us.
Yep.
So to meet people like Sammy Guevara for the first time, to meet people like, like Ricky Starks, to meet people like all these people, big names for the first time, they knew of us. They knew of us from BTE, because everybody in AEW watches BTE. So to see these guys that are like, oh, I can't wait to meet him. I hope he's a cool guy. I hope he's not, I hope he's not one of those guys. And, for them to be humble and like, hey, I know you, you're Simon, I know you, you guys are high risk. You guys are the BTE boys. You guys are the Bucks' boys. You guys are like, so like to be there on a big stage the way that we were, it was like I said, being on a big indie scene with all your best friends. Yep. It's just the production was $1 million production.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, because we've interviewed other wrestlers that had joined, they've done things for other companies, and it's true. Like it's like walking eggshells. You don't see anyone. You didn't even see Vince. With AEW, like, did you see even Tony Khan? Like, or
yeah,
like,
we got to meet Tony Khan. We got to meet Cody Rhodes. We got to, like, you pretty much name it, we met them. Like, I got to meet people in the background, like Dean Malenko, like a lot of people that I idolized back in the the 90s, the early 2000s, like with the Radicals, or all this stuff like that. So, like, to meet all these people, like, Billy Gunn and all, like, the whole Gunn family, like meeting his sons for the first time, to like, actually seeing the boys, because we actually, what not a lot of people know is we kept it surprise even from Matt and Nick when we got our spot in AEW. Both Matt and Nick didn't know that we were going to be there.
Oh, so they didn't call you guys. So
no, it wasn't them that gave us granted, they helped us out with the connections, but as far as telling them like, hey, we made the connections, our flight's this day, we're going to be here this day, we wanted to surprise the boys. Yep. So what we did was we just kept it on, on a need to know basis, and we kept the secret. Didn't post anything on social media, nothing like that, because the boys follow us, so we know they would get whiff of like, oh, they're coming to Jacksonville, or oh, like they're coming over here. So we kept everything on a hush hush, need to know. And when we showed up, the first person we actually see was a longtime friend, was Brandon Cutler. Yep. And when we saw Brandon Cutler, he actually is like, hey, does Matt and Nick know you're here? And we told him no. And so he literally 2 minutes go by, Nick's walking out to come say hi to us because he was so shocked that we were there. Like, he was like, you guys need to be here more often. He's like, I'm so happy you guys are here. Like, how was the travel? Like, where are you guys staying at? Like, it was just right away to being humble again. because right after we wrestled and everything, we went to go eat dinner just like we would do after an HRW show.
Yep.
And, you know, it was on a different scale. We didn't go to our local Denny's. We ended up going, you know, we went to Wawa, we went to, you know, Cracker Barrel. We went to, like, you know, these bigger spots that these guys, you know in Jacksonville, because they were treating us with, you know, the humbleness they grew up with. So when it came time to be in there, like it felt good. It felt like seeing all your old friends like you would see on every other show. Like some people like, oh, I can't wait for next month. I can't wait to see all my friends at the show. I can't wait. Like it was like that, but it was on a higher scale because all these guys are well-known superstars now.
Yeah.
That's so cool. That's so awesome. And I mean, it makes me want to ask, I mean, do we see high risk in AEW again, or what? I mean, what do we see in the future for you guys?
Honestly, when it comes to it, we'll just leave it in just keep your eyes open, because you know what I mean. We don't like giving out surprises. We really don't. So you know, like I said, you could see us in AEW, you can see us in ROH. You might see us in NXT. You might see us in WWE. You really never know. This when it comes to high risk, it's just keep your eyes peeled, because we're making our moves now, and the time is now.
Oof, man, you guys got me all excited now. Man. Oh, I can't wait. But when you guys look back, you know, when you look back now in your career, what like match is your favorite or memory that you guys look back would be your, you know, maybe highlight or maybe favorite moment in your career so far?
Good one.
I'd have to say my favorite moment, absolutely the best, would have to be my very first match against Mac Jackson. I have to go to that one because just the setup, the storyline, and obviously it was my first. I'd have to pick that one.
Mine would be something similar, same one of the same opponents, but it was the first time High Risk actually got to meet Young Bucks in the wrestling ring in front of a live crowd, and to be face to face, toe to toe with, you know, the guys that brought you into this business. Like anybody that's ever had that kind of a match against, you know, their trainers, you know, it's words can't really describe it. You know, the emotions are there, and we ended up having a gauntlet match, and towards the end we ended up making it all the way through to the gauntlet to go towards the tag titles to be number one contenders, and the last one in the lucky draw was the Young Bucks in that match. So we definitely had a mountain to climb, you know, after we just wrestled 2 to 3 matches before that. And we had probably one of the matches, like probably one of our best matches of, you know, of that year, because it was just, we were in the ring, you know, for hours and hours and just countless hours with these guys, to where we didn't have to do a whole lot to just get a story across. And the match was magic. Everybody loved it. Everybody in the back was like, I can't believe you guys were able to do something like that after wrestling twice before that. You know what I mean? So I would definitely have to say the first time stepping into the ring with the Young Bucks.
Great match.
That's awesome. That's so cool. And then, you know, as someone that's, you know, right now, as someone that's, you know, watching or listening and, you know, wants to become a professional wrestler, what advice would you give to someone that wants to be in this business?
I would say definitely find a school. Doesn't matter where it's at. EWF, Inoki Dojo, 2 great places. Anywhere that is local in your town.
Proper training.
Exactly.
Proper training.
Find that proper training. Keep on going. Stay at it. You know, it's going to be painful, obviously. But like we said, if you have that heart and that passion, that pain is going to go away, and it's just going to feel extremely good every time.
It's kind of one of those things to where the best advice I can give anybody is just, you know, if this is your dream, if this is something you want to do, if this is a passion, don't give up. You know, it's one of those things that, you know, if you were to want to be a professional baseball player, a basketball player, a football player, you know what I mean? A pro, you know, whatever you wanted to do, a pro NASCAR driver, it didn't matter. As long as you continue going at your dreams and continue going at the love of what, you know, what you love to do, like it's, you know, it's almost endless. Like there's nothing stopping you but your own self. You're your own worst enemy. So, you know, when it came to us, like our dream was to go to AEW. That was a dream. Once we saw AEW as an opportunity, you know, as something different, we wanted to go there, and we talked about it. We wanted to make it happen, and look what happened. So it's kind of, you know, we're kind of, you know, the proven dream. Like, you know, we actually, you know, can prove anybody wrong that dreams do come true.
Right.
So, you know, as far as chasing a dream, don't stop chasing it because it could come true.
Awesome. That's such great advice. And also, what advice would you give to, say, two wrestlers that want to be a tag team to be as successful as you guys? What advice would you give to someone that wants to, start as a tag team?
It's one of those things. I'll be completely blunt and honest. Tag team wrestling's not easy. It's not easy. So to put two single wrestlers, together, like, yeah, it could be good, it could be bad. But I think as far as, advice, there's not too much I can give. It really goes to, how much they really see eye to eye, how much charisma they actually blend off of each other, how much they could actually feed off of each other.
Right.
Because if you have two solo wrestlers, you have two solo egos. Luckily for us, our egos match up. Luckily for us, there's nobody towering over the other person like, oh, I want to be world champion, or, oh, I want to be this, I want to be that. There's not that for us. So the best advice I can give anybody wanting to be a tag team is have a goal set in mind, but it should be the same goal, because if you guys don't have the same goal, it's just not going to work out.
Right.
Awesome, man. That's such great advice. And again, we do really, really appreciate you guys taking the time to this podcast. I mean, it's been such a, just listening to you guys' story, and it's such inspiration. Again, thank you guys so much for taking the time.
Thank you for having us again. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Oh, man. And again, I'm so excited for this Sunday, Old Guard double chain match, West Coast Wrestling Company. Limited tickets are still actually available on Eventbrite. You're not going to want to miss it. I'm saying this right now. This is going to be the match of the night.
Thank you. Thank you. That's definitely what we aim for. Any promotion we go to is to still the show. So this ain't gonna be no different. Whether it be old guards, new guards, young guards, it ain't gonna matter, because when it comes time to step into the ring with us, you better bring your A game, because that's what we do every single night.
Yep.
Oh yeah, and especially for the fans that want to find you guys on social media, where can they find you guys at?
I'm all over Instagram, all over Twitter, and all over Facebook under Simon Lotto. You can find me all over social media like that. I don't do too much of the TikTok scene. I know a lot of people like to plug that, but I don't do too much of that, but that's whatever. But you can definitely find me on all three of those platforms.
Yeah, same. I have a TikTok. I do a little bit here and there. Instagram, Facebook, Steven Andrews, High Flying Sensation. You can follow us on our YouTube page, High Risk.
Yep.
We post our videos as often as we can, and something very special is coming very soon on our YouTube channel, so stay tuned for that.
Oof, definitely can't wait. And again, the watchers, listeners, please do yourself a favor and please support these guys right here. Please support them all social medias and like, subscribe, comment all on YouTube. And again, thank you so much, guys. I really appreciate you taking time. It's a real honor to interview you guys. Thank you guys so much.
Of course. Thank you. See you guys soon.
It's an honor to be here.
Absolutely. Again, that's going to be it for us here at Championship on the Line podcast. We'll see you guys next time.